The All England Club, Immaculate Grass, a Wimbledon quarterfinal. The world number one is on center court, yet something feels completely wrong. The stands are only half full. The atmosphere is unusually quiet. The energy that had electrified the tournament just days earlier has vanished. Around the tennis world, one question is suddenly being asked: what happened to the crowd? Just 48 hours earlier, center court had been transformed into a sea of red, white, and blue. Thousands of Filipino flags waved proudly. Chants of "Alex, Alex" echoed around the historic venue. Every point felt like a championship moment. The noise was relentless. The passion was unforgettable. It was one of the most electric atmospheres Wimbledon had witnessed in years. Now, the defending champion is playing. The quarterfinals have begun. The world's best players are on court, but the seats are empty. Across social media, one phrase begins spreading at lightning speed: "No Alex. No crowd." Fans are frustrated. The WTA is left searching for answers. Tournament organizers are suddenly facing a reality they never expected, because they have just discovered something remarkable. Alexandra Ila wasn't simply another player in the draw. She had become the event itself. She was the reason millions of viewers tuned in around the world. She was the reason ticket demand exploded. She was the reason fans lined up for hours just to watch a single match. And when her Wimbledon journey ended, so did much of the excitement. This is the story of that unexpected moment. This is the story of the growing fan backlash, the astonishing Ila effect, and what happens when one player becomes bigger than the tournament's own expectations. For decades, women's tennis has followed a familiar path to superstardom. Win Grand Slams, reach the top of the rankings, become world number one. Then the crowds will come. Alexandra Ila has completely rewritten that formula. Ranked world number 29 and only 21 years old, the Filipina star is neither a Grand Slam champion nor a permanent member of the top 10. Yet wherever she competes, something extraordinary happens. Courts fill long before the first serve. Tournament schedules begin revolving around her matches. Television cameras focus on her every move. Crowd noise reaches levels rarely heard in women's tennis. The Ila effect has quietly become one of the most powerful forces in the sport. From Melbourne to Abu Dhabi, from Dubai to Wimbledon, fans have followed her journey with the excitement usually reserved for Grand Slam finals. Former players and commentators have even described her as one of the biggest attractions in women's tennis today, drawing attention that rivals, or in some cases, surpasses, that of established stars such as Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka. At Wimbledon, that phenomenon reached an entirely new level. Thousands of Filipino supporters traveled to the All England Club. Long queues stretched outside the grounds. Court 12, with a capacity of just 1,500 spectators, quickly became overwhelmed. After her opening round victory, Ila admitted she was stunned by the support. "I was really surprised," she said. "The Filipinos keep surprising me, and always in the best ways." The numbers made the story even more incredible. Her third-round victory over Iga Swiatek became the most-watched Wimbledon video on the tournament's YouTube channel, surpassing 1.2 million views. Her post-match press conference attracted nearly 580,000 views. Her social media posts regularly generated millions of impressions. By this point, Alexandra Ila was no longer just a promising tennis player. She had become a global phenomenon. She had inspired a basketball-loving nation of more than 110 million people to embrace tennis. She had united the Philippines behind one athlete in a way few sports figures had achieved since Manny Pacquiao. And, perhaps the biggest surprise of all, the WTA didn't fully realize just how valuable that phenomenon had become. The statistics were impossible to ignore. At the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, Ila's presence helped drive a remarkable 48% increase in ticket sales compared with the previous year. Tournament officials openly admitted that her matches became the hottest tickets of the event. At the Australian Open, fans began lining up outside court 6 hours before she was scheduled to play. Security struggled to manage the crowds. Organizers were forced to adapt. Then came Wimbledon. Back home in Manila, more than 8,000 fans packed the Philsports Arena to watch her fourth-round match against Jasmine Paolini on giant screens. Thousands waved Philippine flags. Every ELO winner triggered thunderous celebrations. When her historic Wimbledon run finally ended, the crowd responded with a standing ovation that celebrated not just a match, but a national moment. But behind all those incredible numbers was another story. A story the WTA was only beginning to recognize. Alexandra Ila had become one of the biggest attractions in professional tennis. Her supporters followed her across the world. They filled stadiums. They boosted ticket sales. They transformed tournament atmospheres. But there was an unexpected consequence. Many of those fans came for one reason, and one reason only: to watch Alexandra Ila. Once her match ended, many left. When she wasn't on court, they simply weren't in the stands. Without realizing it, the WTA had become heavily dependent on the drawing power of a single player. The warning signs had appeared months before Wimbledon. During the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, tournament scheduling created an unexpected attendance problem. Ila's quarterfinal against Coco Gauff opened the evening session. It was followed by Alina Svitolina facing Antonia Ruzic. On paper, the schedule looked perfectly reasonable. In reality, it produced an entirely different outcome. Observers predicted that thousands of Ila supporters would leave immediately after her match concluded. That would leave Svitolina, a former world number 3 and 4-time WTA 1000 champion, playing before a dramatically reduced audience. Had the order been reversed, Svitolina might have enjoyed a packed stadium. Instead, organizers unintentionally built the evening around one player's popularity. Once that attraction disappeared, so did much of the crowd. Dubai was the warning. Wimbledon became the moment that forced everyone to pay attention. The phrase appeared across social media almost immediately after Alexandra Ila's fourth-round exit. No Alex, no crowd. Within hours, it was everywhere. Fans pointed to the noticeably emptier stands at Wimbledon. The electric atmosphere that had defined Ila's matches seemed to fade, and the contrast was impossible to ignore. Thousands of supporters shared photos, videos, and reactions online. Many had traveled from different parts of the world to watch the young Filipina star. They had spent heavily on tickets, waited for hours in Wimbledon's famous queue, and built their entire trip around seeing Ila compete. With her elimination, many felt the tournament had lost its biggest attraction. The online debate intensified. Some fans argued that the WTA had failed to build enough recognizable stars. Others criticized tournament organizers for relying too heavily on the excitement surrounding one player instead of creating compelling storylines across the entire draw. One fan wrote, "She's one of the biggest attractions in women's tennis right now, and replacing that kind of energy isn't easy." Another commented, "They had something special, and now everyone realizes just how much excitement she brought to the tournament." Even Coco Gauff acknowledged Ila's incredible following during the Dubai Championships, jokingly apologizing to Filipino fans for making them wait before they could watch their favorite player. It was a lighthearted moment, but it reflected a growing reality. People knew who many of those fans had come to see. The Ila effect had become impossible to ignore. Her popularity wasn't simply filling seats. It was transforming the atmosphere of entire tournaments. But it also raised an important question. What happens when that player is no longer in the draw? That question extends far beyond Alexandra Ila. It speaks to the future of women's tennis. Her Wimbledon campaign became one of the tournament's biggest stories. She became the first Filipina in the Open era to reach the fourth round of Wimbledon. She defeated some of the sport's biggest names, captured worldwide attention, and earned praise from tennis legends and respected voices across the game. More importantly, she introduced millions of new fans to women's tennis. Following her historic run, Ila reflected on what her success meant. "It would be an honor to inspire young girls," she said. "If I can help pave the way for the next generation, that would mean everything to me." That may prove to be her greatest achievement. She has inspired an entirely new audience to embrace the sport. At the same time, her popularity has sparked an important conversation about how professional tennis connects with fans. The challenge for the WTA is not simply replacing one popular player. It is creating a tour where every tournament offers compelling stories, rising stars, and unforgettable moments, regardless of who is playing. Ila herself has often spoken about authenticity. "I try to be as authentic as I can," she said. "I believe in being genuine. I believe in my values. This platform has allowed me to reflect and become the best version of myself." Perhaps that message applies beyond the court. Women's tennis has an opportunity to reflect on what today's fans are looking for. They want personalities they can connect with. They want stories they can follow. They want players who inspire them. Alexandra Ila has shown just how powerful that connection can be. Whether the slogan, "No Alex, no crowd," perfectly reflects reality is open to debate. But the conversation it started is very real. It has highlighted the importance of building lasting fan engagement, celebrating emerging stars, and ensuring that excitement extends beyond a single player. One thing, however, is difficult to dispute. A 21-year-old from Quezon City has become one of the most talked about figures in world tennis. She filled stadiums. She captivated millions of viewers. She inspired a nation. And she reminded the tennis world that sometimes the biggest impact isn't measured only by trophies. It is measured by the passion a player creates. The Alexandra Ila story is still being written. If her rise so far is any indication, the most remarkable chapters may still be ahead.